Let's say I have a core plan in place, but I still have some students that are not responding to core instruction. I can sort by their early warning indicators. I can also look at expansion data and even pin an additional data point or points for display. In looking at these students and their additional data, I may decide that these two need additional support, whereas this one does not. Similarly here, I may decide that these 4 students, and not this 5th one, would need some additional support. For demonstration purposes, I will go with these 4. Click on Create Plan. Since we are working in literacy, choose that as your general area of need. This will be a strategic support plan, Tier 2. Problem solving, I've done all that. Looked at the core plan, decided these students need some additional support. And continue. I can select no more than 2 specific areas of need for this plan. I recommend focusing on one. I'm going to choose reading comprehension. Save and continue. Once again, another place where I can enter some additional information. Maybe I just want to document this will happen on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If a core plan is already in place, those instructional practices populate. I can also add an additional one here. So now I have 3 total. For the specific area of need, to get the intervention plan started, I need to enter the beginning date. To help me demonstrate some data points, I'm going to go back a few weeks. That'll help here in a little bit when I graph. I want to show you some actual data. Save the date. A list of interventions will appear. Choose the intervention. If you want to add some additional description information, you may. You must add, wherever you see a red asterisk, the frequency, 3 times per week, the duration, 30 minutes, person responsible, myself, group size, I'm going to say 6 or more. I have a feeling I may add students to this one plan. Now that I have my intervention, I need to choose a way to progress monitor. I can set the target date for all students at one time. They'll have the same since they're on the same plan. A baseline date, the baseline score, and the target score. This may be a little ambitious, but I'm just demonstrating for you. Then save changes. I need to complete the SAN. The reason we do this, in the case of multiple SANs, you do one SAN at a time and then scroll back up and repeat the process for the other SAN. There would be another tab right here. Since I have the SAN completed, I can finalize the plan. I now have a Tier 2 plan for these students. I'll come back here in a little bit and show how to enter data. Let's go back to the class display. Because of the browser you may be using, you'll see a message like this. In this case, since I know I have finalized and saved everything, I can leave the page. Back at the class level view, you'll now see that the indicator alert symbols have changed. They are an open shape, not solid. A 2, since it's a tier 2 plan, appears. And a question mark appears because we don't have enough data yet to indicate if students are progressing towards their target score. These students are also grouped for your convenience and your access down below the class roster. Any group plan you create will live here. I can go back into the plan page and enter some data. I also want to show you how I can add a student. So let's say, for example, I decide that this student needs to be added to the plan. I click on the Student Tool menu, Add Student to Group, choose the plan, click Next, enter this student's baseline score and the date, and enter the target score. Target date remains the same, and I proceed. Now this student's been added. Let's go in and enter some data. As I scroll back down to the students, I can now enter their data. I'm just going to put some data points in for demonstration purposes. And click Save Scores. You'll now see we have a graph. The student is on track, making adequate progress. We have our trend line. We have our target line. And because the data points on the progress line are above the target line and trending in the right direction, we are making adequate progress. From here, I can also print a copy of the plan. I could exit a student from the plan. I can move a student to a new plan, view the history of any plans the student has been part of, or also view any screening or observations. If at any point I want to modify the plan for students or end the plan for all students, I can do that from here.